Welcome to Nerdmageddon.
Hello! Welcome back to Nerdmageddon. We actually have nerd news this week, so let's jump right on into it.
It's not good nerd news.
Yeah,
though.
this is not good news. We should
Some
not
of
have
it is.
happy.
Some of it is.
Some of it is.
It's not all sad.
Yeah.
But our starting story is not.
No.
Ian Holmes, famous Lord of the Rings actor, passed away earlier the week that we recorded this. Corbett, you really want to talk about this?
Yes. So as Corey has said, famous actor Sir Ian Holmes, I might add, he was knighted, passed away last Thursday at the age of 88 years old. He passed away peacefully in the hospital with his family and friends nearby with him. They don't have the official one announced why, but they say that it is Parkinson's disease related for his passing. And Sir Ian Holmes is most well known for playing Bilbo Baggins in the amazing Lord of the Rings epics by Peter Jackson, but he's also well known for being in The Aviator, The Fifth Element, numerous Shakespeare adaptations, Time Bandits, and The Alien. He is Bishop in Alien, which is not Bishop. He's but yeah, he's in the first Alien movie, and he is the synthetic in that movie. I never realized that until I read this article. But
Wow.
Wow, that's him.
Yeah, that is him. Yeah, that's Sir Ian Holmes.
Wow. Okay.
He's the synthetic who has his head knocked off and describes the xenomorph as the perfect organism. That is him. So.
But
Wonderful.
here's one thing that's kind of nice to take away from it, though.
Mm-hmm.
88 years old, like he lived a full life.
That is a good life.
Mm-hmm.
He was with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was with his family.
He had a nasty disease. Like Parkinson's is like, it's awful. It can get bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it was kind of more like early onset or not as severe, then that's also a good thing because then he didn't go through all that pain, and then he's out of the pain he is.
They did word it, make it sound like it was painless and almost as if he went in his sleep because it describes it as peacefully. So I'm thinking he went in his sleep, which is honestly one of the best ways to go. So.
Yeah. And then Corbett, during our meeting, you mentioned that there was a tribute that happened.
Yes. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but in 2007, there was an online multiplayer online game, Lord of the Rings Online, which is basically World of Warcraft, but for Lord of the Rings world. And it is still going to this day, constantly getting updated, and it has a huge fan base. And when this happened, thousands of players in the game paid a tribute to Ian Holmes. They found the in-game version of Bilbo Baggins, and they all formed a circle around him, and they all took a knee and they actually put on their voice audio and were singing songs and doing tributes to him. And then a whole bunch of other players were parading through the Shire and the world and throwing parties and launching off fireworks. And an interesting thing that was really funny, for any of you people who know Lord of the Rings lore, you will know that Mr. Bilbo Baggins has a very cranky relative known as Lobelia Saxville Baggins that he's not very fond of. And a lot of the players decided to camp out in front of her place and launch off fireworks in order to annoy her in tribute of Bilbo Baggins, which they think he would have greatly enjoyed.
Good.
I love that.
But yeah, basically the entire fan base basically stopped doing their missions to fight each other and came together to pay tributes to him. Another thing that was mentioned is...
Elijah Wood, he made a Twitter post that was very heartwarming, and it ended with "Farewell, Uncle," which I feel like is just perfect.
It is.
My cheeks are hurting. I'm smiling so much.
The Lord of the Rings books clearly are such an influential thing, and the movies too. They are a part of our culture. So
Absolutely.
I need to read them and see the movies. This.
I have not read them, but I do have the copy, the complete book, and it's super thick. But I have listened to them all on audio, CD audio readings of it. And I'm biased. I prefer the movies to the books, but I chalk that up to the same reason why I prefer the theatrical releases to the extended editions. I grew up on the movies so much, and they're a whole lot more fast-paced. In the books, I was there are 12 CDs in the Fellowship of the Ring, and it wasn't until CD 7 that they got to Rivendell.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of walking.
There is
a lot of walking expedition.
The scenery.
I was
Be patient.
by like so many pages in. I think I was on page 4, not page 4, disc 4, maybe 5 out of the 12, and they still hadn't even left the Shire yet. They were still in the process of getting the ring out of the Shire. It is so much slower. Also, fun fact, in the books, Frodo is 50 years old when he leaves the
He
Shire.
is.
Yes, they actually. I don't know if they mentioned that in the movies or not. I believe that they said that he was 50, but 50 is quite young for halflings.
Yes.
Halflings usually live to be like 200 plus years old. Elves tend to live to be upwards of 1,000.
I think it's
in the Lord of the Rings universe, I
150,
believe.
not 200, because Bilbo
Around there.
getting to 111 was a big deal, and I think the record that he died to was like, I think it was 160, which he was the record he was literally going for to get the longest living Hobbit. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of comparing books to movies and TV shows, The Witcher season 2 is going back into production. Kinsey, take it away.
So on Facebook, I have like lots, and because I love The Witcher, like the book series, the video games, and the TV show. So I follow a lot of those, and a lot of people are getting excited that they're now starting up the production again for season 2 because it was on hold due to COVID, and now it's back in action.
Yeah.
And I have the source. I just don't remember where it went or where I put it in my phone. So I will find that for you all.
All right. Well, that's going to be very interesting. I'm sure Henry Cavill is extremely excited for that because he's a big Witcher fan before he even started the series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where the show's going.
I've heard it's good. I have yet to see it, though.
It is very good.
Just to kind of like remind everyone out there, and also like you guys, if I feel like I've said this, but at the same time I don't know. They're not following the video games.
Yes.
So
They're
don't
following the
the books.
books.
They're following the books.
they're following the books, because I know a lot of people are getting upset with how some of the characters look, like Triss Marigold.
I heard there was, the largest was like the appearance of this enemy soldiers in the series. Like people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is hideous. What do this even look like?" And
Yeah, I didn't even really notice that a whole lot. All I know is like they were picked to act in that for a reason. They were picked on their abilities to act and not their looks. But yeah, so otherwise, like I love I love it. I enjoy the show a lot. Oh, and season 2 is not going to do the time jumping like it did with the first season.
Okay.
So it will be a lot more
Streamlined.
organized.
I didn't really expect them to, because like for the first season it made sense since it was kind of showing like all of the characters like backstories and then how they ended up meeting. So it made sense in terms of like they were building to the meetup, they were building to this point. And now they don't really need to build up to that, so I don't think they need to do the time jumps much.
Yeah. I think I think season 2 is going to be a lot more receptive. People are going to be more open to it than season 1, just because the time jumping, at least for me, was really hard to follow. I also wasn't paying attention the whole time because I was reading webtoons, but that's beside the point.
Also, they didn't really state when it was a time jump. They kind of were just like, "Hey, by the way, it's been like 10 years, I guess."
Yeah. So I've been working on the book series recently. I even got confused on the time jumps.
Yeah. It's rough, buddy.
Yes.
And I think it's getting a little rough for Pokemon. So the original Pokemon, Pokemon YouTube, the official one, they announced a lot of games that were coming out, and it pains me to say it, but things are not going well. They created a game, and I understand this is for little kids, but it's teaching you how to brush your teeth with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great for all you nerd parents out there, when to get your nerdlings started young. But at the same time, for people who, we're like, oh, like new content, it's a little less than exciting. In the same video, they also released Pokemon Cafe.
Yeah, they did. It's a free download, and guess what I did?
You downloaded it, didn't you, Molly?
I did. It's kind of like a phone game, but on the Switch.
That's
Oh.
It requires none of the buttons. It's all touchscreen. It's pretty much like Candy
Ugh.
Crush, only
Oh,
you don't
no.
just move one block. You link everything together, and it's not like it's weird. It's kind of fun, but also I'm kind of just sitting there like
my guess would be is that it was originally going to be a mobile game, but by how often like people like hate on mobile games these days, they probably panicked. We're like, put it on the Switch quickly.
Well, no, because they're still doing updates to Pokemon Go. Because
Well,
they made more
I
announcements
know,
with that
but,
in the same
like,
video.
In the past year or two, like any time a mobile game is announced, like it's been catastrophic. It's not been good. So, especially for people that have been waiting for a new game, like cough cough, the Diablo game that came out before Diablo 4 was announced. When they announced that was mobile, like Blizzard stocks crashed. So, and similar stuff to that happens. Clearly, they're running out of ideas. I think a cool idea for Pokemon if they want something fresh is, you know, those that fan art project of Pokemon Fusions. They should make an entire series dedicated, like game series dedicated to the fusions and how like that's like unnatural to the Pokemon world, and you can choose to sacrifice your own Pokemons to get new fusions, and like how that's causing problems, and also that would give them a huge variety to get new Pokemons without actually having to create new Pokemons because they're just the fusion.
But then there's also the legality of all of that because there's no way they could make a bunch of these Pokemon without tapping into the fan art created ones and then giving credit to that.
Well, the thing with that is, if you are going to use the official art for the official designs, you should obviously do that. But since the fusion thing is just their Pokemon fusing, they could come up with their own designs of how they're fused. So they honestly could avoid it. It would be a little gray area. You make a good point, Corey, but yeah.
I did see that they announced either a reboot or a new Pokemon Snap game for the Switch.
It was a reboot.
It was the original game, but just for the Switch.
Yes. So basically, Pokemon Snap was for, I want to say Game Boy.
Nope.
Or, no, not Game Boy.
N64, I want to say.
There we go. Yeah, N64. And basically, it's the original Pokemon Go. And they have not all they've done is like kind of re-render it, make it compatible with the Switch. The game itself really hasn't changed much, which I kind of would like to have seen them make it more like Animal Crossing. I think having it be a little more interactive and getting to know like different Pokemon personalities and all that, I think that could been more accepted.
Definitely would have been a lot more fun, especially just because Pokemon's so integrated into Nintendo. Why couldn't they, take a little from Animal Crossing and just be like, let's figure out their formula and see why everybody actually likes that game.
Yeah, I would be happy to be indebted to Pikachu.
Or Professor Oak, whoever it is.
It would probably be.
You can't ride your bike there.
Actually, no. Professor Oak would be in the museum, and it would be either Pikachu or
Bulbasaur. It'd be Bulbasaur.
Pikachu would obviously be a private detective. Duh.
Wait, what about Meowth? He's literally got a coin on his head. Therefore, everybody owes him money.
Because if it's a talking Meowth, that means you're being indebted to Team Rocket.
That's true.
It would be a great twist.
Actually,
that would be cool.
Really nice.
Technically, if you actually read what Team Rocket's goals are, they are actually extremely progressive and really want Pokemon to be happy.
They just go about getting those Pokemon in a really bad way.
They're basically PETA.
But
everything that they say they want to do, good, awesome, but they do things bad.
Okay. I was just recently told this because my boyfriend was on Reddit and he saw a Reddit post and he messaged me, did you know James and
Jesse
and James are not, they're a couple, like after the series, because it's like an add-on thing, I guess. I don't know, but he said that they end like that they're married at some point.
What?
They're not
Yeah,
siblings.
That doesn't
Yeah, I knew they
surprise
were
me.
siblings.
They've
But-
never been siblings.
See, I
There's
didn't know
literally
that.
an episode in the original series where you get to find out James's past, which is hilarious and like deep and kind of painful for him.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, it's kind of upsetting. Like, James is actually the broken hero of the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Ash can go away. He's got nothing.
He has no
Nothing
strategy.
is wrong with
He throws
him.
Pikachu at everything and abuses the poor animal.
Okay.
Literally, Ash, everything is fine except an absent father. That's it.
Yeah.
Also,
Like-
No, that's Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is
Mr.
bad.
Mime.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
An Animorphs book because it's coming
Oh,
to the silver screen, and I want to see someone's reaction to the covers while they're still high on like surgery drugs.
That's terrible.
Actually,
You're
yeah,
terrible. Corey.
Do it.
I'll definitely do that.
You're terrible.
So
Isn't like the story of the Animorphs actually really upsetting? Like it
Yes.
involves extreme genocide and like human
Yes.
testing.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are like all of us, you've seen the incredibly disturbing covers, seeing children morph into animals, but you never actually picked up the books. So basically, it follows the story of 5 humans and an alien, and they get to transform into any animal that they touch. But it's from 1996, so you already know it's gonna be weird.
From the
'Cause,
90s.
you know, that's when you got Harry Potter too. Like, it's fine.
It's
But-
for the Zillennial nation generation, by the way, which is a term that's out there. It's for between the Z nation, for the Generation Z and the Millennials, where we don't associate with just one, but we're a little bit of both. It's from 95 to 99, I believe it is. So people who grew up in the 90s but aren't technically 90s kids before 9/11 but don't remember it and all that. So
That would be most of us. But these book series, they are getting turned into a movie. We don't know which books are going to be used for the plot. We can probably assume like the first book. But I did some research. There are over 50 books in the
Yes,
core
there
series.
each
Yes.
one with a very unique and disturbing cover.
Yes, there are 54 books in the core series. Not to mention there are at least 3 spin-offs, 2 choose your own adventures, and then like a little mini series based off of it.
Okay, I have
Like, this is a whole universe.
I have a question. Do any of you guys remember the one? I don't know why, but I just see a vivid picture of the boy that turns into an anteater.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going crazy and making that up. That was a
Nope.
legit thing.
No,
Yeah,
I
like
remember the girl turning into a slug vividly.
starfish.
Yeah, that's
remember that
gross.
one.
There was also the gymnast girl who turned into a starfish.
Yes. But like Simon said, these books are really disturbing. They deal with genocide, kind of figuring out your identity, especially because one of the plot, devices is if they stay in their animal form too long, they can't transform back. And so there's a kid who turned into a bird, stayed in it too long, still managed to turn himself back, but he had like really bad like bird-like tendencies, and like even like his whole face had changed shape because of it.
I
Gross.
think I
Permanently.
remember that cover. It was
Yeah.
a creepy one.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
those are
They're all
coming.
creepy.
And for those of you who did read the books, some good news for you is that not only is there a production company with it, but Scholastic Books is also co-producing it. So the people who originally produced the book series, they have a hand in it, and it looks like the author might even have it say in it too, because she's saying that they found the perfect home.
Well, that's good.
That's very
and that
good.
ties in honestly perfectly to, I guarantee, the main way we all saw it, which was one of the best parts of childhood, and that was the Scholastic Book Fair. Like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
were bomb.
Yeah.
I need Scholastic Book Fair for adults.
Yes.
It's called Barnes and
I
Noble
miss-
Sale Day.
That's
No,
good stuff.
Like specifically the Scholastic Book Fair, because they had posters and useless erasers that were more toys than eraser.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the elementary school on our campus
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah, but
You
it's
got
like
the-
inside the
the-
And
building.
you got the little book order forms too. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
circling things I knew my mom would never buy me.
I know, right?
I did that, and then one time, like the least likely book I thought I would get, I actually ended up getting. I'm like, oh my gosh, how the heck did she agree to this?
Oh, and I love how my school, they were sneaky about getting you to buy stuff because they would arrange it around Parents' Day and Grandparents' Day.
Brilliant.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
smart.
Always
That's
arranged.
brilliant.
They arranged ours around parent-teacher conferences.
That
And
too.
mine
So
were-
That
you
one I
were
could see
with your
backfired because
parents
what
to
if
be
you
able
weren't
to.
doing well and your parents were not in a good mood during the conference?
It would make you.
Yeah.
It would make you do better in classes or do well in classes because you have the. Ooh, if my teacher says good things, my parents will take me to Scholastic, the book fair.
And this is how we all scammed our parents into buying us books that we
were
read
bribed.
maybe 3 times.
Our good grades were
And
bribed.
posters.
So
And posters.
And posters.
And, with books that we'll probably read like 3 times, there's a D&D cookbook out there now.
Woo!
Yes, I actually read into this a little bit. So it's focusing mainly on like the stories that Gary Gygax wrote about the world of Ravenloft.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little darker kind of area, but it was very focused on the culture. So they have mostly it's just like regular recipes, but they're titled like using monster things. So like they have it was like Mind Flayer Souffle or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like interesting stuff like that, but my only qualm is that they are focusing so much on Forgotten Realms and Ravenloft, and then also the Magic the Gathering world. But when are we going to get a Dark Sun reboot? I swear, I need a Dark Sun reboot.
Yeah. So I guess we all know what we're going to be doing next time we get together. We're going to all collectively get this cookbook and make a big dinner.
Missed
Yes.
opportunity. Maybe this is a copyright thing, but missed opportunity. If not, like if some form of lambus bread isn't in there. So
Oh, what was that? You say lambus
bread from Lord of the
Lambus
Rings.
bread?
The
Not specifically.
I know, but something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
So I actually
They
plan on
have-
doing this cookbook, so I'm more than willing to bring it down and have some cooking nights.
Yes.
Also, I don't know why, but like talking about this cookbook, it just makes me think of two of my friends. They'll put like pound cake in the freezer, and they'll take it out and call it rations, and then they toss it around while they take bites out of it. Like they toss
Nice.
it to each other back and forth.
you could do that with monkey bread.
hmm
But it's so interesting and so funny because you just go, you want a ration, and you just get a pound cake chucked at you.
I just get the image of welcome Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle when they get the rations, and then Kevin Hart blows up when he eats the pound cake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
movie
This
had
cake
no right to be
poison.
as good and as funny as it needed to, as it was. It had no right to be that good, but it was.
So it sounds like as soon as we can all get together, we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
We won't be breaking any quarantine laws.
Yes.
We'll be
Yeah.
making
Pound
D&D
cakes at each other.
recipes and watching Lord of the Rings because
People need to do that.
we need to be learned.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings and Bacon Night.
Yes.
I heard bacon, and I'm still okay with it.
All right. Well, that is all we have for Nerd News with you guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for joining. And as always, you nerd it here first.